Today on TFBTV, we're torture testing the Mossberg MC2sc. Did I get that right? It sounds more like a UPC code than a gun name. This is Mossberg's newest double-stack micro-compact 9mm, meant to compete with the likes of the SIG P365, the Hellcat, the Shield Plus, and others in this market that is, thankfully, now getting pretty crowded. To give you a little backdrop for this video, Hop and Ryan got to go to the Mossberg MC2sc launch event at Gunsight, and I think those assholes have gotten to go there for maybe 2 or 3 press events while I've never actually set foot on that property, which kind of pisses me off a little bit, but whatever. Hop and Ryan run the poop out of these guns while they're out there, and Hop posted an excellent review of the MC2 on TFBTV. At least I assume it was an excellent review because Hop's reviews almost always are. I seriously just didn't watch it because I had FOMO that bad, not even kidding. When Ryan got back to New Orleans, he talked about how impressed he was with the MC2, mainly because of how tough it was during this course. Ryan was pretty confident that they had over 1,000 rounds through each of their guns, Hop's and Ryan's, with no failures at all, even after some mild abuse. And of course, I'm talking about the guns, not Ryan and Hop, but then again, with those guys, who knows, I guess. If you've been watching TFBTV for a little while, you know I'm usually carrying a Glock, maybe a SIG P365, sometimes a Smith & Wesson, a couple of sticks of ostrich jerky, pack of Trident. I like to be prepared, and I didn't really have an interest in reviewing another double-stack micro-compact, the Mossberg pistol, especially considering Hop already did it. Why do I need to do a review? On top of that, never really been a Mossberg guy. I never purchased a Mossberg shotgun growing up. My first personal firearm was a Remington 870 Wingmaster and 20 gauge that my mom got me when I was 12 for like $110 of my allowance from Walmart. I never turned back after that. That is, at least until Remington slowly became the Rick James of shotguns. About 10, 15 years ago, quality control started getting a little loosey-goosey in New York, and if you bought a new Remington shotgun, you never knew if you were getting a bona fide super freak scattergat or if you were getting a won't get through the set list without a dose of Narcan 870. So around last year, based on you, viewer, your recommendation, I bought the Maverick 88 to test out. My plan was to absolutely thrash it in one of my torture tests. I fully expected it to fail, and once again, I was going to gracefully dunk on the pores and enjoy every second of it. You guys saw the torture test. 500 non-stop rounds of all kinds of 12 gauge. It performed perfectly. And then only a few weeks ago, back in March, I got a prototype copy of the Mossberg 940 Tactical for evaluation, and again, it also performed flawlessly. So based on these positive experiences, I figured that I'd grant Ryan his wish and we would run 1,000 rounds through the MC2sc in a torture test.
It was actually the first time I'd ever shot a Mossberg pistol. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but the pistol surprised me. We shot out distance, we shot a lot. There's probably 15 pistols, each ran about 500 rounds that first day. Everyone's did fine. I thought we should bring it back to Louisiana swamp and see how it did in a wetter environment.
How did it do? And to be clear, we didn't clean it the entire time. Oh, and we also soaked it in water and threw it down the range a few times and bashed it against a barricade, and we kind of ran over it with Ryan's truck 3 times. We might have thrown it in the bayou, possibly smacked it in some of that nasty truffle butter mud at the range. So how did it handle all this abuse? Stay tuned for that answer. Before we get to the torture test, quick lightning review from me because Hop's already done a full review. Go back and watch his video. As I said, micro compact 9mm, pretty close in size to the P365, holds 11 rounds in a flush fit magazine. It's like 1 inch thick, 4 inches tall. It's pretty efficient. It's polymer frame, striker fired. The grip and the grip texture are actually pretty good, like the ergos. Some people love the trigger on this thing. I consider it to be kind of on the low end in the micro compact division.
It is like 60 yards. Oh, maybe 65. Let's give it a shot. Oh, shit. Oh.
I really like the P365 XL, and I think the Shield Plus might be the best one out there. They've got better triggers out of the box. I even got kind of a nasty blood blister you can see here by the end of this test from the Mossberg. But again, this seems to be subjective. It's not an objectively bad or even mediocre trigger because there are gun guys out there who actually seem to really like it, including Ryan and Hop, so your mileage may vary. It's also cut for an optic. Pretty sure it's the Shield RMSC, meaning you can throw a holo sun out there. One big plus is that this cut is so low in the slide that you can see right through the window of most optics and co-witness your sights. So the Mossberg MC2sc, whatever, it launches, and I'm thinking to myself, why do I want to buy this over something that's been out for a few years now, something I've reviewed, something I trust? What does this do differently or better than anything else? And before we even get to that question, you have to ask yourself, is it reliable? So myself and Ryan decided to test that out. We headed out to the proving grounds of the South Louisiana swamp to see if the Mini Mossy would live up to the hype that Ryan was giving it. We recorded every single pull of the trigger for all 1,000 rounds, including every failure we had. Bear in mind, this was a brand new pistol. I bought it months ago. I never took it out of the box because of my lack of interest in the gun. So we take it out of the shrink wrap and we go to work right away. 1,000 round torture test. Ryan, being a man of the cloth, he's tending to his flock. He suggested that maybe the best way to kick this off, since it's right around Easter time, is with a little Easter egg hunt. All right, I saw Ryan poking around right here, and up, here we go. All right, and there's another one right here. Now this next one's too obvious. Oh no. This one's gonna be tricky. Yep, there you are. I know it was around here. I saw Ryan, he's a big flower guy. 75 yards. Oh, hit. Hit. It's not bad. Up. There we go. Failure to feed. And son of a bitch, we're not even like 100 rounds in. We have our first failure to feed, a mild failure to feed. Maybe my thumbs were riding a little high in this Mossberg because they were throughout the day. Maybe this was a fluke. Maybe it was break-in, or maybe it's an omen of things to come. Which is it? We continued to work our way through the first half case. Let's maybe get a little bit closer. Oh shit, that was a bad one. Let's see if it's still in the fairway or if it landed in the rough, Jim. Here it is.
It's not so bad. That's 50 yards. Oh, God. Oh, God. Bad bounce. I'm not even going to be able to find it. Easter egg hunt, part 2. Holy shit, where's this gun? Got a little herbage in there. Oh, wow. $500 rounds down and a piss load of abuse, and we're doing just fine.
So there you have it. We got through 500 rounds. We only had the one failure. That's a 99.8% reliability rating, and you're looking at, on average, 500 rounds per stoppage. So that's not bad. However, I like using the XM9 trials as a baseline. That is the government evaluation of a handful of pistols from SIG, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, and others to choose the M9 pistol. As you probably remember, the Beretta 92 ultimately won that competition, became the M9, was the official sidearm of the U.S. military for several decades. The Mossberg, even though we had only fired 500 rounds, was technically behind that curve. And we were getting a little bit bored, so we decided to up the ante a bit.
Oops. Oh my God, Butterfingers. It's slippery. I put on sunscreen. I just put on sunscreen with my gloves.
We got a couple of water bottles. We splashed down the Mossberg while we were shooting it between like the 500 and 600 round mark. As you can imagine, the Mossberg was unfazed by that. Not only did the Mossberg keep trucking though, but we still had 0 failures after that. But the Crimson Trace optic we were using decided it might be time to hit the old dusty trail. So yeah,
The Crimson Trace optic is a budget optic. It's pretty decent for what you pay for it, but we did kill it. It is done. So just now when I was shooting those strings, it was only sporadically working. Understandable. I can't imagine like a $150 optic could withstand the type of abuse that this gun has taken today. But what's cool about the Mossberg, the cut is recessed enough in the slide that the sight's co-witness. So even though the subjective lens is super dirty right now, what was kind of cool is it's like, oh shit, can't see the dot. You can just say screw it, and you can go right back to your irons. And I think that's a really good feature to have. Whew, man, I am thirsty. Let me find a good place to maybe set this down. Fine. Right! Oh, you just did it again! We actually ran over it 3 or 4 times in order to get the shot we wanted, get some close-ups and whatever with Ryan's truck. A roll pin in the polymer frame, like kind of towards the grip tang, started to work its way out by a couple of millimeters, and every crevice was full of grass and dirt. We figured that that was going to be it for the MC2. The Mossberg kept emceeing like a little Mossberg
MC Hammer with this little gyrating MC Hammer pants. Think about how sick it would be right now if I got to drop Hammer Time in this video for a montage without getting like a copyright strike or sued. One box left, 950 rounds down the pipe, and still only that one failure at the very beginning, which was looking more and more just like break-in or just a fluke. And at this point, bear in mind, the Mossberg is outperforming the XM9 test standards. With 950 rounds and only one stoppage, that's pretty impressive. With just one box left, we figured it was time for the brackish water Bayou BF test. The bayou behind the range is a mix of salt and fresh water with like some really disgusting fine silt or mud at the bottom of it. Now, how would the Mossberg handle that? Oh. All right, flagged myself that time, that's okay. This is disgusting. Uh-oh. Oh, I just didn't insert the mag all the way. That would be the problem. Mossberg? More like Moss Boudreaux, am I right? Because, ooh-wee, it ran through that sludge like a crawdad. God, this program is terrible. I only had one mag left. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to kick some dirt on it, and I'm going to slap this Mossberg's cheeks into this nasty bayou mud. Now. And let's... Oh my God. That's disgusting. All right, there's no way. But, oh my God. It works. I was sure that was going to do it for the last mag, but the Mossberg took it and ran. There you have it. I'm really impressed. The MC2sc looks like it should definitely be a candidate for one of the better micro compacts on the market today, at least in terms of reliability. In addition to my personal feelings about the trigger, we did have a couple of reservations about the controls and the accessories. You could see there a pretty good demonstration. All these magazines had like 2, 3, 4 rounds in them. Of the only real issue that I have with the MC2sc, and that is that the mags don't drop free unless you really mash on that button. I felt it was a little annoying, but if you make it easier to deploy, you make it easier to accidentally deploy. So maybe that's also a wash too. You could either be safer or make it easier to change magazines. However, if Mossberg wants to get serious about making this a real competitor in the concealed carry market, there needs to be some holster availability so people can actually carry these things.
The biggest drawback is compatibility. Somebody, please, make a decent holster for this guy.
Eyes on the road. Eyes on the road, Ryan. God.
So I brought this nasty ass gun back home, and I decided that I wasn't going to clean the gun to see how it reacted to the brackish water. 3 days later, today, I took it out of the box and I inspected it, and as you can see here, the Mossberg was dirtier than Hop's back seat. But rust was minimal, the action still cycled, everything seemed like it was still in working order. There was no rust whatsoever in the slide or the barrel. The only rust I saw was on the firing pin spring, which got quite rusty, but the recoil spring didn't, which was kind of funny. And some of that rust actually seeped into the slide's firing pin channel. So the slide didn't actually rust, but some of that rust bled off of the spring. There were also a couple of small flecks of rust on some of the uncoated parts of the fire control group, but those were really hard to detect, looking like dots from like a ballpoint pen. Almost not worth mentioning, and you may not even be able to see it in this video. So I have to close this video with a message to my hetero life mate Ryan, because I ignored his pleas. I ignored his idea to torture test this gun for months, and it ended up being a great concept for a video, and surprising at that. So Ryan, I want to say, you don't need to apologize for failing to convince me months ago that this was a good idea for a video. Of course, if you had been a better communicator, I would have done this a lot sooner, but we've been close friends for so long that you don't need to apologize. Water under the bridge, mi amigo. Guys, want to win a free gun like the Mossberg MC2sc XYZ ABC, whatever? Easy, just get on Subscribestar or Utreon and sign up at the $5 level or higher. You are automatically entered to win a gun every single month. We also give away 4 $100 Blue Alpha gift certificates. That's eligible to all of our supporters at any level on Utreon or Subscribestar. But we're just grateful you're watching. Thanks, and stay tuned for more. Take care.